Content that converts. I'm excited for this training. I've engineered a ChatGPT prompt for you that's really going to help you come up with some solid content ideas for content that ultimately helps convert clients because that is the goal. The goal isn't to try and create content to go viral, and that's a bit of a trap that people fall into. And every other post on Instagram is about how can you grow your Instagram. And I remember when I first started, I was like, oh, I just need to get like more followers. And I was looking around at like, how can you just buy followers or pay people to get you followers? Because I thought followers equaled clients. And it wasn't until I started working with other PTs, i.e., mentoring them with big followings, that I suddenly realized, hang on a minute, like this guy's got 10,000 followers or 20,000 followers and he has zero clients. Because if you've got people in there that aren't the right fit for you, they don't fit your niche, or you just got a load of bots or randomers in there, they're not going to engage with your content. Ultimately, they're not going to buy. And the mistake people make by thinking, oh, I'll go viral, and if I just get 100,000 followers, I'll make a shit ton of money. If they're not aligned with your product and they're not in your niche, you could have 100,000 followers and still zero clients. And quite often, the people that come in from viral posts are people that just aren't going to buy, right? They're the scrollers or they're just weirdos. Um, and then the other thing with trying to go viral is one, you either have to be like incredibly lucky to have a viral post, uh, but ultimately you have to put in a shitload of time. And I've been part of a mentorship that taught organic strategies. I've been kind of into other memberships and had the mentorships and had a look around at the strategies that you need to grow a big following organically. And essentially, it boils down to making a high quality reel every single day. You've got to spend time editing it, having, catchy hooks, well produced, multiple angles every 1 to 2 seconds. Like you need to, it's a full-time job. That's what I'm trying to say. High quality content every single day of the week over 3, 6 months will get you followers coming in. But the amount of coaches that I see, where I can see on their Instagram, they've been consistent for 4 weeks, a couple of months, but they've just burnt out. And ultimately, they couldn't sustain it. So they never saw the results and they just quit. And I don't want that for you, which is why I don't teach organic growth. I just teach bringing in people from outside with paid advertising. We'll get some organically along the way, but ultimately creating the content so that it converts those people when they come to your page and it warms them up so they're ready to buy from us. So there's two objections really. Is that the word? Objectives is the word I was looking for. Um, One is when they land on your Instagram page, they're going to make a decision whether they're going to follow you or not. So number one goal is to increase the amount of people that convert into followers. And this is especially important when we're putting money behind it. If we're running a follower ad, then our ROI on that, our return on investment, is completely down to whether that person makes a decision to follow us or not. So that's number one. And then we want to detract people away from us that we're not interested in, right? It's goal number two, because having followers is just a vanity metric. And if you just have followers that are coming in that aren't going to engage with your content, that's going to kill your audience even more. Because Instagram works on engagement, and if people aren't engaging with your posts, you're not going to get any organic reach anyway. So you just want to attract people that fit your niche. They're going to engage in your content, and that will help your account organically grow. Like I would go through your followers and I would remove people that don't fit your avatar. So maybe friends and family can stay in there. But yeah, if you've got a load of randoms in there, they're killing your account. And ultimately, the content that I want you to make is what I call belief busting content. And there's 3 layers of belief. I've talked about this in another training. There's 3 layers of belief that you need to kind of break down for a client to buy from you. So number one is the belief that your program or your product or the solution that you're marketing is right. Okay, they need to believe that it's the right program, it's aligned, and it's unique to them, right? It's not just like nutrition plan and workout plan because everyone else is doing that. They need to believe, secondly, that you are the right coach for them. You're demonstrating the authority and the expertise, the knowledge of their problems, but also they need to like you. And that's super, super important. Even if you demonstrate all the knowledge in the world, but they don't like you, they're not going to work with you, right? People by people. And then the third one is they need the belief, they need the self-belief that they can do it. And that is normally what holds people back more is they go, oh, I could never do that. And this is especially true when people are going down the fitnessy influencer um, kind of road where people are looking at them like, well, they probably spend 5 hours in the gym every day and they haven't got family and they haven't got kids, so it's not possible for me. So you have to create the belief through your content that it's possible for them. So product, you, and self-belief. And yeah, I'm going to show you how we can put this into a prompt so that you can spit out some amazing content ideas that help break down these beliefs. And then cadence wise, you want to be posting at least 3 times a week, 3 to 5 optimum, right? Um, the more the better, but I'd say start with 3 because this is about warming up the audience that's in there, right? And if they don't see you for a period of time, then they can get cold. So, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or however you want to do it across the week, I would set your days, plan some posts, and yeah, try and stay consistent with that. And then stories, I would do every day of your working week, right? So I'd say aim for 5 days. Give yourself a day off or 2 days off. I think that's important to have that little bit of a break. But stories should just be about you and showing your personality, right? So it's not it's not a place to sell. We might do it periodically, but mostly it's just about showing your life, getting them to understand you and your personality. That's where we kind of connect with them. And then stories is also about where we start conversations, right? So having polls and stickers and that sort of stuff, because there is no conversion without a conversation. Unless you're selling a really low ticket product, you need to have a conversation with that person before they're ever going to buy from you because they don't trust you yet. So stories is where we create conversation, and content is where we bust those beliefs and get them warmed up to us. Okay, let me remind myself how I share my screen. Make sure I've got the right screen up here. And let me take you through this prompt. So before we go through this prompt, or before you go through this prompt, I want you to think about the pillars of your program, okay? Because this is a great way for you to have a consistent content calendar that is true to your messaging and your philosophy, is understanding what the hell your program stands for and what the pillars of that are, right? So we need some pillars to our program. So say your fundamental pillars were nutrition, mindset, and movement, right? We want to go a little bit further and make that more specific to our avatar. So if it was, I don't know, menopausal women, then the nutrition might be hormonal nutrition or hormonal balancing nutrition. And mindset might be superwoman mindset. I don't know, but you can see how you want to theme it to that person so it speaks directly to them. Okay. And that's what makes it unique. We just fundamentally online coaching is, programs from nutrition, but we want to jazz up the language so it really speaks to that person. Okay, I was trying to share my screen and I got distracted there, didn't I? Okay, here we go. So in the community, I'm going to put this prompt underneath this video, hopefully, and you can go ahead and you can work through it at the same time as I do in this video, because it's going to take about 10 minutes or so to go through and create your content ideas. So, yeah, once you've got your pillars, then you can start, right? So let's get into it. So here is the prompt and we'll go through it together. So yeah, if you're watching this back in a place that's not suitable, I would suggest you just stop the video. Then when you're at your laptop and want to create content, play it again, right? And you can actually do it with me. So you're an Instagram marketing expert in 2025. I need your help to generate some compelling content ideas for my brand, taking inspiration from viral Instagram posts, YouTube videos, and Twitter threads. Make copywriting impeccable and memorable and grade 2 English. Now, the grade 2 English is there's a huge percentage of the world that can't read well, if you like, or a higher grade. So we want to simplify things as much as possible and make our copywriting readable. Okay, now this is where you're going to replace with your own brand the information in here, right? So I'm an online fitness coach creating content to help. Insert your brands there, right? I've got menopausal women over 50 with kids. Feel free to pause the video as you type this into ChatGPT or copy this into ChatGPT. What are the goals? They want to insert your goals here, right? I've got lose weight, drop body fat, feel younger, have more energy, feel more confident. They struggle with, again, think about the struggles of your audience. Now you can, like, if you don't know this stuff, easiest way to get it is just use AI again, right? ChatGPT, tell me what the struggles of menopausal women over 50 with kids are, and it'll spit it out. But you should know this inside out, right? You should know your niche's struggles and pain points inside out, because you've either walked that path yourself or you've helped clients through it. So you should know all this stuff anyway. So put in their struggles. Now, I help them with my unique system. This is where we want to stand out from the rest of the crowd. So again, I talked about like those pillars, but you want to think about what is the system that you use that sounds sexy, for want of a better word, because you know the industry is it's all the same sort of stuff, but you'll see people say metabolic method, right? Or they'll just use some random initials, the ATB method. So, but that stuff sells because it sounds cool, it sounds new, and it creates intrigue where they're like, I wonder what that is. So I really encourage you to try and think of some fancy names or methods or systems that you use, right? I've been here, my metabolic program, priming program that helps them feel more youthful and confident in 90 days through optimized nutrition and strength training. So have a go at rewording that for your niche. My mission is to bring awareness to the pain points of this audience, help them show up more energy and confidence. Again, insert something that's relevant for you there. I want to create content that breaks the 3 types of belief that we talked about. The product, the I'm the right coach, and the self-belief. So we're going to get our content to do the work for us. Content should be less directive, i.e. instead of here are 5 things that you should do, it should be here are 5 things that my client did, or here are 5 things that I did. Okay. People get a bit resistant when we're like, this is what you should do, or here's 5 things that work. It's kind of been played out as well. So we want to create a different angle for it. Now in here, I want you to add these extra bits of information, because this is going to help with the quality of the ideas that it comes out with, right? So what's your philosophy? So it could be you've got a certain nutrition method that you follow, right? Maybe you're a vegan or a carnivore or something like that, or a certain style of training method. Maybe you like HIIT. Maybe I don't know, you incorporate mobility work into your strength work. Whatever your philosophy is around training, and that's going to have a bit of a crossover, a point of difference as well, but try and populate what makes you different from other coaches, okay? Because it is the difference that's going to create the sale for you. Otherwise, like, people will shop around. Someone that's looking for my product right now, i.e. my menopausal program, they will compare me to other coaches, right? So my point of difference will help make the difference between whether they come to me or not. Your value and your personality. So I could say, I am, I'm laid back, I have a family, I like to chill on the weekends, like whatever stuff you want to put in there about your values and personality, the pains you fix and your solution. So again, add a bit more detail here because the more detail we give AI, the better ideas it's going to give me. And then finally, the results you get, give me ideas of how I can show this because that's what's going to help create the self-belief. I want you to generate viral content is creating a table. Okay, cool. And then in here, we have some different styles of content that are going to help like, elicit emotion. There's a mix of information, education, edutainment, infotainment, different styles of content so that you can have some variety, right? So I've pre-populated all that for you. You don't need to do any of that. Now, final bit that you need to do is your content categories, right? And this is where our pillars come into play, which we talked about, the pillars of your program. And then we're going to have our clients bit. So I put in my 3 pillars here, hormonal nutrition, my superwoman mindset, and I've put another one there, sustainable fat loss. So the key foundational pillars of your program, stick them in there because this will allow you to talk about your program every time you put out a bit of content, right? If I put out a bit of content about nutrition and I'm explaining why you shouldn't eat that and you should eat that, and I go through in the captions exactly why that's right for menopausal women over 50 with kids, I can tie it back and say, um, you know, if you want to learn more about this, this is exactly what I teach in the um, hormonal nutrition pillar of my program, right? So it allows you to constantly advertise very subtly in your content. So your 3 pillars, you might have more pillars, and you can, but it's going to spit out more content ideas, right? So you could have 4 pillars, but I wouldn't have more than that. And then final one there, client results, which is the most important one when it comes to actually selling your program, demonstrating that you can achieve the result that they want, because if there's no evidence, they won't buy from you. It starts with you, right? If you've been through a transformation yourself, that's your evidence. And then the next is obviously your clients and demonstrating your client stories. So populate all of that and then we'll whack it into ChatGPT. Okay. Now I didn't fill out everything in there, but I think I've filled out enough for it to give us some good ideas. Now it's going to create a table for me. And the most important element of your content is the hook. That is what stops the scroll. The hook plus the image, right? Or the cover of the reel. But having a strong hooks that are aligned to your niche is what's going to get people to follow you. So when they come to your page, whether that's organically or from an ad, having these hooks on your page is massively going to increase the conversion of them becoming a follower, right? So these are all great, okay? The science of menopause and weight gain, what no one tells you, the psychology of self-doubt, why women over 50 lose weight differently. My client thought she was too old to lose weight until she proved herself wrong. My biggest mindset shift my client made, the biggest mind shift. Like these are all amazing, right? These are all scroll stopping hooks that are relevant to our niche. Okay. So really like what it's about there. So next, if you're happy with that, you're going to go down to the next prompt and you can say, put this into a calendar for me. Nice. Now, this is going to give you a bit of a framework for ideas and help you stay consistent, right? Now, what I do always encourage you to do is share um, content that feels authentic and relevant in the moment, right? So you might have a bit of a plan laid out, but if on a certain day you've read a book or you've had an interaction or just something sparks, share that with the world then, and then get that content while it's kind of like coming out of your brain. Get that as that would be the best piece of content relevant on that day. Okay, cool. So next step is to going to be how do we make this into a piece of content, right? So let's just take this top one. 5 foods that help you balance hormones and melt belly fat. So I'll put that down here. And then we'll come into my next prompt here to write some captions. Keep going on there. Cool. So in here, storytelling is the most powerful way to use captions to elicit emotion and create that connection, right? So as much as possible, we always want to use storytelling. And then this is the framework, right? We call this the 4P framework, where we're calling out the problem. We're saying this is the potential path or possibility, and then we propose what the solution would be. Problem. You wake up in the mirror and wonder, why won't this belly fat go away? Cool. Okay. Nice. Let's even put a little call to action on the end there. So it's like, okay, that's all right, but how do we actually turn that into a piece of content? So my next prompt would be, maybe I'm going to turn this into a carousel, right? Turn into a, I don't know, 5 slide carousel, please. Now the captions themselves, we can actually use as the captions, but to help us actually put this into carousel, this is it. This looks great. Okay, it's got a strong hook that's relevant to our niche. Then we can literally just copy and paste this onto our slides. And this is already looking like a viral carousel. Really good. Now you don't have to use the call to action here. Most call to actions will be follow for more. But occasionally, like if you have got a free resource that's relevant to your niche, which certainly encourage that you do, then yeah, it's great to have it tagged on as your call to action. Now, content, carousels, reels. That's really all we want to do. Because static posts just don't really get any traction. So I would either create carousels or reels. So we can say now change this into a reel script for me. And then that would do the hard work for us there, right? Hey, if you're 50 and if you're over 50 and struggling with belly fat, it's not your fault. Your hormones are changing and they're making weight loss harder. But the good news, the right foods can help to reset your body. Easy. So all I'd need to do is essentially just read this. Simple. If you do that, you just follow that method, you'll create a really, really good page which people want to visit. Now, the final piece is the aesthetics of the page, right? Which are also important in terms of people to get you to follow you, right? What you want to try and avoid is having too many graphics and too much Canva stuff because it doesn't really work now in terms of getting them to follow you for fitness coaching. It works in certain niches. Like, I don't know, if I'm an Instagram marketing coach, I could do a ton of reels that say, this is what you got to do viral carousels, right? And you could just make a ton of those and you get a load of followers through that. Like educational stuff. But when it's your personal brand, and fitness coaching is a personal brand because people are buying you. It needs to be you, like plastered all over the page, right? So it needs to be you in the video, and also it needs to be you, or obviously your client, if it's you talking about your client, in your carousel post. So carousels, I would have pictures of you with text overlay. See if I can find some examples. Okay, I'm going to pick on Mel because Mel's in the group and her content's great, right? Awesome. This, like straight away, captions are really, really big. Capture your attention, speak to the niche, but they're also like we can see Mel in all of it, right? So replicate this sort of stuff, right? Who else can I think? Who else can I pick on? Yeah, Becky's is good actually. Becky's is similar in terms of like lots of her on the page, lots of her clients, nice big captions. Just need for this example, we just need better hooks, really, like bigger text. So when people are on their mobile, like it calls out. But in terms of like the personal brand and the sort of messaging, this is good. Who else can I pick on? Yes, Tegan, I'll pick on you too. Um, love Tegan's page in terms of the branding, right? There's a real community feel, outdoorsy feel to it. Again, like it shows off her. Nice big text on the captions, just probably better hooks, right? That are calling out the ideal client would be the change there. But this sort of style where it's an organic photo, and then you have the text overlay over the front is what I'd go for rather than trying to like do too many like fancy Canva stuff. Um, yeah, this sort of stuff with text overlay. Any more examples I can find? Yes, Joe and I, another person that's going to help me if she watches this, hate me if she watches this back. So again, personal brand, lots of Joe on the pictures, big, bold hooks. This is perfect, right? I think the only change I'd make is making some of these hooks a little bit more relevant to the niche, right? Just calling out the avatar every single time, like this one, midlife women, boom, that's going to get someone to stop the scroll. But yeah, this like is perfect. So if you think about your Instagram page is your website, right? It's your landing page. When someone comes to your page, whether that's via a post or via an ad, they're going to have a look and they're going to make a decision in about that much time, right? In about 1 second. And if there's posts that are calling out their pain points and who they are, that's what's going to get you the follow. Okay. So I hope that helps. Go away, use this prompt, make some nice content, and get warming up your audience.